Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. However, depending on where you live, the standard of beauty can change drastically. Each culture has its own unique beliefs on what's considered attractive and what's not. And we are here to share the shocking results with you. Just wait until you hear which country prefers their women to have one large unibrow. Stay tuned because you won't want to miss it. If this is your first time visiting our channel, don't forget to subscribe and please give this video a big thumbs up. Today we'll be showing you what people find unattractive in different parts of the world. Plump lips. Thanks to stars such as Kylie Jenner, the number of women who have gotten lip injections to increase their pouts has skyrocketed. However, there are a few places in the world where plump lips aren't in style. During China's Ming Dynasty, women were expected to have very dainty and small mouths. They were told that their tiny lips made them appear more graceful. Although this was centuries ago, not much has changed in terms of beauty standards in this country. China as a whole is in the midst of a plastic surgery boom, with more than 7 million procedures done in 2014. However, lip injections aren't at the top of the list. To understand this beauty standard, you don't have to look any further than Chinese model, singer, and actress Angela Wing, better known as Angelababy. She has the typical features that Chinese people find really attractive, right down to her average size lips. So what would happen if a Chinese woman decided to get lip injections? Well, we're sure there were more than a few of them who have already undergone the procedure. But we don't think plump lips will be catching on anytime soon in China. Although there are typical beauty standards in every country, not everyone is going to follow the crowd. People still have the right to do whatever they want to do and change their look to reflect their own personal beauty standards. 2 eyebrows. In most places, men and women go to great lengths to keep their eyebrows perfectly groomed. If someone is born with a unibrow, they usually get rid of it as soon as they're old enough to do so. But in some places, the unibrow is actually really sexy. Can you guess where? Well, to come in contact with people who love one big brow, you'd have to travel to the small Asian nation called Tajikistan, also known as the land of the unibrow. Women in the capital city and small villages of the nation have really thick and dark unibrows. They see it as a symbol of beauty, and women who aren't sporting some extra hair in between their brows may feel left out. There are some herbal remedies available that women of this country use in order to fake a unibrow in the meantime. It consists of a green herb that's sold in the country's market. They take a bunch of the herb and let it dry out in the sun for a few hours. Then they grind up the leaves until a green liquid seeps out. They apply the liquid between their brows and leave it on for about 15 minutes. When it dries, it leaves a deep black unibrow that drives the men wild. But trying to figure out why they love the singular brow so much is a tough task. The women simply think it looks beautiful, and the men definitely agree. Smooth skin. In many countries, people spend thousands of dollars on skin treatments and products to make their skin as smooth as possible. Wrinkle and blemish-free skin is usually a sign of good health and youth in some parts of the world, and a lot of women freak out when they see the smallest stretch mark appear on their bodies. But in Ethiopia, smooth and even skin is seen as unattractive. The men and women of the Karo tribe scar their bodies in their beauty rituals. The men have scars on their chest to represent the number of men from opposing tribes they have injured, and women have scars on their chest and torso because it's seen as attractive and sensual. The ancient art of scarring is not for the weak. In fact, it is a process that causes a great deal of pain. We can't even imagine what it feels like to go through with something like this. Ancient scars were created in various ways, but many of them were chiseled into the body using Y-shaped blades. Others were done by pulling the skin using fish hooks and slicing the designs into the flesh with sharpened blades. Ouch. But as they say, beauty is pain, and people of this country are more than willing to permanently mark their bodies just to be seen as attractive. Thin brows. In the 90s, the Western world couldn't get enough of thin, overplucked eyebrows. Everyone had thin strips of hair as their brows, and some people even shaved off their brows entirely just to draw them back on with a thin, fine line. And then, suddenly the trend shifted, and everyone was embracing big, bold, and thick brows. In some areas of the world, thin brows have always been seen as unattractive. In Mexico, thick brows are a beauty staple, and this has remained the same for centuries. All you have to do is take a look at Maria Felix. She was an iconic Mexican film actress and singer who was the epitome of beauty. This picture of her shows the trend of thick eyebrows that the people of Mexico love. She had very bold brows that framed her face perfectly. Dramatic, shapely brows have continued to be the norm in Mexican history, and even when other areas of the world lean towards thin brows, Mexican women don't budge. They love their dark and striking eyebrows, and we must admit we're in love with them too. This isn't to say there's something wrong with thin brows, of course. Every part of the world has their own idea of what's beautiful, and in Mexico, thick brows reign supreme. Do you think they will ever get rid of their thick eyebrows and embrace smaller ones? Petite bodies. There's a lot of importance placed on how men and women's bodies look throughout the world. Some countries prefer their women to be slim, while others like women who have bigger frames. And believe it or not, there's actually a country that finds petite bodies unattractive. Some places think small figures are better, but in Sudan, women are scouring the black market for a special pill to help them gain weight. With hopes that the pills will give them a curvy body, these treatments are illegally sold in small shops across the country. The pills are sold in small bags without any ingredient list, FAQs, or a list of what the potential side effects may be. But that hasn't stopped women from lining up for these pills in droves just to adhere to the country's standard of beauty. It's unclear how many women are actually taking the pill because many of them are too embarrassed to talk about it. But in a recent interview with a publication, one woman said she was always afraid to take the pills because many of her family members had fallen ill while taking them. Pills range from appetite stimulants to make women more hungry to allergy medicines that contain steroids. Despite the risks involved, Sudanese women are willing to try anything just to become more shapely, even if it means it will cost them their lives. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to check out our friends at the Trending